Hi, everybody. This week's episode is about the Port of San Diego. I'm Danny from Travel with D&D. So, like we left off last episode, we stayed at the Best Western Plus downtown on Ash Street. We were able to walk down the 3 blocks, and that's where the waterfront is. And while the building of the Port of San Diego is kind of warehouse and older style, the surrounding areas is just a terrific place. And today we're going to talk about a lot of things you can do down there for free, and then a few additional things you can do if you decide you want to pay for that. So as you walk down the Ash Street and you get to the waterfront, you'll reach the Star of India. And the Star of India was built in 1863. It's the world's oldest active sailing ship, and it was brought to San Diego in 1926. There's also a maritime museum there that you can pay to see. Next to that is the Port of San Diego building, and like I said, it's not as spiffy as the South Florida ports, but in fairness, they have limited land to work with, and the surrounding port areas that we're going to talk about here more than make up for that. Next is the cruise ship area. There's 2 cruise ship terminals, Terminal A, Terminal B, and keep in mind all this stuff is walking distance, and you can just take in the sights right down there on the bay off of the Pacific Ocean. Next is the Coronado Ferry, and we actually will talk about that next week with our self-excursions that we did in San Diego for those 2 days. And so the Coronado Ferry is right down there as well. The Kissing Couple is right there. The Kissing Couple is the famous statue of the end of World War II in Times Square in 1945, where the sailor and a nurse are celebrating the end of World War II. And a little bit of history on this one, it was actually brought on a flatbed from New Jersey, and it's 25 feet tall and 7 tons. And all I could think of is, wow, I wonder if they had to go around any bridges on the way from Jersey to San Diego. That's a long drive. So next is, there was a famous comedian named Bob Hope, and Bob Hope used to donate his time to the soldiers. He lived a very long life, but he did a lot of great service work, and he would go and cheer up the troops. And there's a beautiful exhibit there of Bob Hope and like 15 statues, life size. And in the background is the next thing you see, which is the famous USS Midway ship. And the Midway ship was in service from 1945 to 1992, and about 200,000 sailors served on that ship. You can see it from the outside. You can see the airplanes that are parked in the aft of the ship on top. And if, once again, just like the Star of India, there is a museum to go up on the ship if you want to pay that additional charge. Finishing out that area along the waterfront is the Seaport Village, and Seaport Village is where there is a lot of shopping and dining. It's a shopping and dining area owned by the Port of San Diego. It's quite nice. We went over there and relaxed and had some ice cream there, so we had a good time. At this time, I'd like to ask you if you're finding any of this interesting, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up, and you can even hit the notification bell, and that way you get notified when we drop information about these different areas. So a few more things that we did while we were in San Diego that I really recommend, and these are great tips. I mean, I'm so glad that we did this. If you go down to the Grand Hyatt, which is all the way at the end, you will see the Hyatt, okay? The Grand Hyatt will be there. And what you do is go up to the 40th floor, and there are terrific views like this one of the entire Pacific Ocean area, port area, and San Diego. So that's tip number 1. And then if you walk back down the street where the Spring Hill Suites and the Marriott, they're connected to each other, you can go up there. There's a restaurant, it's up on like I think the 7th floor or something, a pool area, and it looks over the port, and it's another nice place to take in views. So 40th floor of the Grand Hyatt and about 7th floor of the Marriott in Spring Hill. And right there by the Marriott in Spring Hill is the Lane Field Park. And Lane Field was the original baseball stadium for the San Diego Padres. So here's Dawn and I messing around on the little, thing they built to remember that historical area. And it was really nice. They lighted up the bases at night, and so very, very, very pretty. Another thing we did was we walked up to Kettner Boulevard to see the Santa Fe train station. The Santa Fe train station was built in 1887. It's very, very historic and beautiful, and apparently some of the design features that are within this train station have been used in other buildings that were put in San Diego. So there's a brief recap for you of some of the areas that you can see down there in San Diego. I personally think it's one of the greatest surrounding areas for a port. In fact, some of the ports are kind of out there in the middle of nowhere, and there's security to get in and out of them, and not everybody can go there. But in San Diego, it's all there for everybody, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful area. And of course, you've got fantastic weather in San Diego. So I wanted to take a second at the end of this video to let you know that one of the main reasons I've gone to San Diego a few times is my brother Tom. My brother Tom moved to San Diego 30, 40 years ago. Loves San Diego, big, huge San Diego Charger fan. And just to show how loyal he is, even when the Chargers moved to Los Angeles, he remained a big fan. So glad we took this trip. Everything I love about San Diego, I learned from my brother Tom. And unfortunately, I found out earlier this year that my brother Tom passed away. He was not in great health when we were there, but I'm so glad that we got to see him. And he loved San Diego. He loved it so much. He volunteered for the Chargers. He was legally blind as well. So he, here's one of the pictures of the view from his place in downtown San Diego that I also showed last week. So I'll show that again. But I'd like to dedicate this video to my brother Tom. I love you, Tom. I love you. Rest in peace, dear brother. We'll see you next week on Travel with D&D. These are our new mugs we just got. Looky, looky. Aren't those nice? Okay. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.